me last time. We went to Nirvana, got some sand, talked to a dragon, came back, we got political power, we started sending out stuff for to get an election done. Am I missing any other important points?
Yeah, I think that was it. That's what I have.
Correct to me.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Um. Okay, so then I guess the question is, what do we want to do for right now? I know we were talking about putting out feelers for early runners in the election. But we haven't advanced any days yet. So I didn't know if there was stuff that we need to do in the meantime, or if we wanted to go through an accelerated timeline for this, or where our thoughts were.
Don't know. So I think that's what the sort of the problem we were tackling before we wrapped it up last time is: are we? 1 second. Cat being a bastard. Anyway, we're trying to figure out whether we wanted to actually do anything or just skip time. I think we were leaning towards skipping time, but it's been a bit, so.
Okay.
I think we were leaning towards skipping time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, for sure. And that's that
It
works.
never happens. It never happens with us.
The the things that would happen before that council vote would be, so the first House of Champions contract ends in a day, but you have a secondary one. But the 3 contracts you made at that point will all expire 2 days before the vote. And then the slavers, that happens 4 days after the vote. So if we're leaning towards skipping ahead, I just want to know when we're skipping ahead to.
Yep, I'm
A
looking
week?
for my notes.
2 weeks?
A sweet summer child. It's going to be like 2 days. So you said, how long is it until the voting stuff? The last thing I have written down for dates is that we're doing the voting in 14 days.
Yep. So, as far as the year goes, we're on 51st day of the year. The vote is on the 65th day of the year. The contracts for your mercenaries that are all at the tear are expire on the 63rd day of the year. Hold on 1 sec.
have you guys been?
Okay.
Good.
Yeah?
That's good.
Yeah, I've just been working.
Did anyone do anything special for New Year?
Nope.
Closest I get to doing anything special for New Year is making sure that my best friend and I spend it together.
Oh, good.
My wife and I stayed the fuck home, hung out, watched some movies, played some games.
Nice.
Yeah, we just went to a friend's house and just, I don't know, ate fucking cheese, to be honest.
That sounds nice, though.
But, yeah, it was. And when it hit midnight, we sort of went outside because, like, where they live, this friend of ours, this couple. So it's just the four of us. And we went outside, and it's like up on a hill, and it looks over the whole town, like right across the town, and then to the town beyond. Right. So obviously it's midnight, and there's all the lights, and there was just like little sprays of fireworks all the way across the town. It was really weird. It was like a scene of Blade Runner or something. You know, like where there's a war in the future. It's sort of like that, where there's this little clouds and puffs of thing, but hardly any sound. It was really weird. It's quite nice, actually.
For for our New Year's, we were playing. I don't know if you guys know the game Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
I've never played it. Never.
But we were playing that. It's a longer game. And we started and we were like, oh, we'll be done before midnight, no big deal. And then all of a sudden we're playing towards the end of the game and we just hear shit like exploding around us and we're like, what the fuck? And then we look at the time, oh, it's 12:01.
Oh wow.
We didn't even see the ball drop or anything. We were just like, oh, I guess it's midnight.
Is it a good game though?
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's a very good game.
I was gonna say it's like a resource building game. I would say it's
Yeah.
kind of got a risk feel to it.
It's baby's first resource management game. It's like it's the intro game to good board games. Literally, that's
Yeah.
like if you exist in the heavy board game circles, it's like everyone who plays a lot of board games looks down on Catan, not because it's necessarily a bad game, but because it's sort of it's kind of a solved game. It's not literally a solved game, but it's very, very easy to if you're familiar with Catan and playing with people who aren't. It's very, very easy to win.
Right. Yeah.
Because basically just the way the resources are generated, even though there's some amount of randomness, you end up, if you know how the game works well, it's very, very easy to basically just take advantage of it.
And we've definitely, the three of us who were playing, my Wi-Fi and her best friend, we've played several times. So we've gotten to the point where we've added difficulty because basically our games were just going by too quick. So like obviously one of the big things that we did is we made the map random.
Yep, always.
So and hidden. So you didn't know what resource you were getting until you moved something there. And then the other thing is then on top of it, we made the numbers random as well. So sometimes, like one of the good later resources that you need is stone and wheat. There'll be times you're like, oh, I got a wheat right next to me, sweet, and then you know pick the number out of the bag, and it's a 2, and you're like, fuck, this doesn't help me at all.
So one of the things we always found is you need to make sure that you need to make sure that the 6s and the 8s aren't right next to each other, because the 6, if you get to be built next to a 6 and an 8, you basically win the game on the spot.
Yeah.
Almost always. You need to make sure tiles are randomized. You basically have to do a bunch of shit to fix the game. And there are so many good resource building games out there now that it's like probably
Not worth
something
it.
else. Yeah. My favorite resource management game is Great Western Trail, or as my wife calls it, the cow game. Basically about like taking cattle from I want to say it's like Texas to taking it from like one southern state to a northern state to sell them, and it's all about like building out the trail along the way and like navigating the trail and like avoiding it, and it's very very deep. It's very long and it takes a long time to like set up, and the rules are very complex, but it's very very fun and very very deep. I don't know. There are a bunch of really good resource games, and Catan is very important because Catan is sort of the game that made resource management games popular.
Yeah.
And you can find it in all the big box stores. So like if you want to introduce someone to a resource management game, it's a good starting point. But it's sort of like Lost Mines of Phandelver. Lost Mines of Phandelver is decent at what it does, but there are a lot of better adventures in Lost Mines of Phandelver.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I might give it a look at some point.
So as I was saying on the days, we're 14 days out to council vote, 12 days out to contracts ending, 18 days out until we're supposed to meet the slavers in summertime, and 34 days until there's a meeting for guildship.
Then 2 days since you looked at me.
Didn't we have something set up for the son of a bitch? I get words while I'm speaking them.
I mean, our plans, I think, for son of a bitches are usually to kill them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Let's see if I can find the word that I forgot while I was in mid sentence. Did we not set up a plan for the ends of the contracts for sending people out to the tear?
So the first contract that you set up to send people out expires in a day. The other 3 contracts that you set up to like rebolster that end in 12 days.
I'm pretty sure we paid for the first contract to be extended as well.
I thought we just got a new one instead of extending the current one.
Yes.
That's what I have in my notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that a potato kind of situation?
Yeah,
or-
more or less.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's kind of shitty to try and extend somebody's contract when they're out doing something. You're either dead or you need a vacation.
They're men of labor. Followers, get back to the stations, all that.
Sorry, guys, we're gonna need to extend your journey against these demons and devils. You're gonna have to stay a little longer. Sorry, guys.
If you complain, we'll kill you. Haha.
But then the commander's behind there saying, "Mission accomplished."
Who are the real bad guys in that?
Sorry.
That's the question, isn't it?
Mm.
So, do we want to skip ahead? And if so, to what day? How many days would we like to skip?
I'm happy to skip ahead. But if anyone's got anything particular they want to do in the meantime, I'm happy to attend to that first. So
Oh, I was trying to think. I think we can skip ahead. I think we already took care of contracts at the breach. So
I don't know. Like, the only thing we could really do would be more material gathering for equipment, but I don't know how much more of that we need to do right this moment.
yeah.
ooh,
We got the planar materials gathered. Was there anything else we needed to gather that wasn't like just kill a big bad guy, right? Kill an undead or whatever. So I don't feel like there was, and we were sort of waiting for that dude's contract to be up anyway.
Yeah. I concur.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was gonna say, so in 7, that's why I picked 7. In 7 days, his contract will be over, and he'll come to work with you guys.
All right, then we should probably jump 7 days to then, right?
yeah.
And then we can use a day or two, and then we can start preparing to go do the slaver shit.
Okay.
Alright.
So let me just do a time fast forward. Okay, so a week goes by. You know, we do normal things, check in on what's going on, that sort of thing. Who do you want to ask about to find out who the early frontrunners are? Are we going to just talk to people in general, or talk to Yellowbeard, or
100% Yellowbeard.
so we assuming that's okay with everyone, we go to Yellowbeard and ask him, you know, hey, what are the frontrunners doing? Is that correct? Or what else do you say? What do you guys say, Dan? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I mean, I want to know who the front runners are, but I also want to know like the general feelings of the populace as well. Like, what are people talking about with regards to this?
Well, first and foremost, the general populace is very they're optimistic that this is going to bring more change. There's a general sense of anxiety that it'll just be another ploy for the aristocrats to take over. Early front runners are among the common people are a blacksmith that's contracted by the Vanguard. One of the major merchants in town whose businesses he deals in more rare and expensive sort of items, and he sort of filled in a lot of that niche since Felicity hasn't been around in some time. And then there's Yellowbeard is a quick up and coming candidate just among the people in general, because since he's been the one who's been kind of the face of getting this going, you know, like they know you're backing it, but as far as like face of who's getting the word out and who's you know, been doing it, it's been Yellowbeard's guys, right?
Yeah.
Under your direction, of course, but Yellowbeard's kind of been the face, so he's an early front runner as well. There are also two front runners. They're children of some of the more affluent groups. One is from one of the families that would have allied you, whether or not you put political pressure on the aristocrats. One is from one of the families that did not join you even after political pressure.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's kind of the lay of the land. Like I said, beyond that, the people are excited to see what comes of it. You know, they feel like they're hopeful that they'll have a voice coming into, you know, this style of government instead of the aristocrats paying whoever they feel like, and, you know, the quote unquote trickle down effect.
I say we put our boy in office.
I mean, that's the plan, right? We're trying to make him the mayor.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You know, just bear stating again.
Also in the morning, you know, Gearfried, your master blacksmith, shows up, is reporting for duty, in a sort of sense, you know. He
Duty.
he brings a lot of his specialist tools from them, and has requested to the group that we work on building an actual shop for him. He said at the current moment it would be it's gonna take more time than it would at his home shop where he was at before. It'll take more time for him to build weapons. He has all the tools to do it, so that's not the problem. It's more of he doesn't have as much of a workspace as he'd prefer. You know, these artisans, they're a little picky, wants their own space and stuff like that. He also recommended finding a miner and an alchemist in the very near future, as both of them, like the combination of the three, he said will make production as a whole considerably quicker.
Okay. Ciela!
Well, how much of his shop that he needs could he uproot?
I mean,
'Cause
some
we have magic people.
the tools that he has are the major things that can be uprooted. Beyond that, it's mostly just having you know, like a stronger kiln, a stronger furnace, you know, that he can make the materials to the right temp quicker. So unless you're planning on ripping out, you know, like large things, you know, we're talking about, you know, large structures out of a building itself. There's not much that can be taken from his original spot.
It's in our best interest for there to be something like that in here anyway, like to have a nice, really set up forge or whatever, just in case, you know, we ever have to have a war or whatever. Like, we need to have a large battle. We can, you know, have our own armaments, not have to rely on anyone else.
Yeah. Well, how much is that going to cost?
It is. So his basic level that he has right now is 1, and let's see here.
Dale's just Dale is just finding every way to nickel and dime us.
Yeah, as if you guys don't have any money to spare.
We're not gonna if you keep nickel and diming us, God. We have money because we're cheap, Dale.
We have money because everybody Wow, I just forgot what I was gonna fucking say.
Ah, it's catching.
It's contagious.
Oh yeah, because I have been listening to a lot of like old, early 20th century, late 19th century fiction.
So, improvement per shop level. The first level is from go to first to second is 1,000 gold pieces. Go from second to third is 1,500. From third to fourth is 2,000, and then from fourth to fifth is 2,500. So, in terms
That's
of how
cheap.
much money you have, we're talking about chump change.
We should give him the. We should have the best workshop the money can buy. Because we deserve maximum effort. Any objections?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think so. We have what, like 50-some thousand gold, and yeah,
Yeah.
So,
And
total cost to upgrade to fifth level would be 7 grand. 7,000 gold pieces. And it'll take about 3 days.
that's fast.
Yeah.
You pay enough money, things go quicker.
I mean, we have 52,000 gold. Yeah, we can spend 7K. Not a big deal.
Sounds good. And eventually, we're gonna get to go murder some more out of people. So it's all good.
How do you pay for your expensive lifestyle? Oh, I murder people.
Oh, that seems reasonable.
Oh, don't you accuse me of being reasonable.
Reductive reasoning will get you anywhere. Sorry, reductive thought processes. There we go.
Okay, so you I assume you tell Gearfried, hey, we got the money to upgrade. You know, get the people you need. We're gonna build the best shop you got. Right, more or less. Is there anything else you want to talk to him about in the meantime?
No, I think that covers it.
He says in the meantime, with the tools he has and the time, he's gonna work on just like general weapons. Just like your general shields, chainmail, plate mail, swords, spears, that sort of thing. For the armies that you have, so they're in better shape. And then hopefully enough that you can also use them for like your mercenary armies that you hire. Any objections to that?
No.
Don't think so.
So from a meta standpoint, what that'll mean is your armies will have where the fuck is armies at? They'll give all your armies a +1 to attack, power, and morale. We haven't really gone into how they function in an actual fight right now, but I can tell you that that definitely makes things a lot better.
Yeah, sounds about right. Does he maybe have any leads on the miner? Because we have an alchemist, don't we? Or we're going to?
You have an alienist who's kind of like your, I would say at this point he functions like like a staff officer sort of thing. I wouldn't say he runs the show in Ciella's absence, but he more or less takes care of the tasks that you need done in the meantime. And he's an advisor, is that the word I'm looking for here? Retainer. There we go. So he's not an alchemist. He said that a miner, you're gonna find the best luck for finding a miner in Phandalin or Merrywind, as those are both near a lot of mountains. So you're gonna be able to find a good miner there. A lieutenant. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So, those would be the best places to find there. He said an alchemist. He says that you could probably find some in like Mape, where like the Mage Trade City. He said beyond that, you're probably gonna have to look in one of the more shadier towns. He says you might be able to find one even here in Mech somewhere, but beyond that, there should be a good one in Summertide that he says he's worked with before. He says, but he's kind of sketchy. So, that he's like, I don't know if that's the type of person you're looking for.
Sketchy.
Yeah, he says he's always had an okay thing with him. Like he's done and relayed potions to him they needed. But he knows from other contacts that this guy just works for money, and so he'll gladly cancel one contract if an opposing group pays him pays him more for either the same stuff or something else that's against the original contract. Like he is 100% bound by money. He does not care about other people in general.
Okay. Well, I don't like that. So maybe we should find somebody else to be our minion.
I have a pounding headache, and I'm kind of hard time concentrating right now.
Is it just me, or did I imagine that entire silence?
No, there was an entire silence there.
Okay. Why don't we go have a gander with the shady dude anyway? See what he's up to.
So, do you want to visit him now, or you will? I mean, assuming you're still gonna go with the slaver thing, that's in 11 days, and you'll be in Summertide anyway. So it's up
Yeah,
to
we
you.
could just
Go.
multitask.
Wasn't we gonna go with the slaves though?
Yeah, but we can go talk to him after we deal with the slavers.
Ah, look at you.
Look at the big brain on old Lene here.
We can do things out of order? Oh my fucking god. Um. We could always just have Yellowbeard, do his thing and put out feelers for us as well.
Probably the best way to handle this.
Yeah. We could have Yellowbeard put out feelers and then go talk to the sketchy dude while we're there anyways.
Hmm? And if we don't like the cut of his jib, we can kill him.
Or just let him live his life.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems. I don't know about. We
Unreasonable.
could just kill him. Yeah, I mean.
And take his stuff.
Could just ignore him, and that's kind of passively killing him, isn't it? Because he'll die eventually.
Well, when you do that, you create what's called a loose end, and those always come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, but he isn't going to have anything to
That's
do
why
with
that's
that.
why I have to kill the children too.
Well, I mean, you always have.
Oh,
to
Okay, Annie.
Oh, you mean Anakin, don't you?
Yeah.
For a fucking split second, I had a vision of that ginger girl from that film
That's what
years
I
ago.
was thinking.
What the hell are you on about? And then I thought, that's an orphanage. Oh, orphans. Oh, Anakin.
No, after
Pray
Daddy
once.
Warbucks adopted her, Annie went back and killed all the children at the orphanage.
Yeah. Fucking hell. God, my brain went on such a journey there in like 2 seconds. It was mad.
I mean, I feel like
you still made it. You still
She
made
pulled the
it.
Tommy gun and
Still
said,
got
"No
there.
more, no loose ends."
my head canon is she went there to just kill the kids who gave her problems, but then she started killing and realized how much she enjoyed it, and then just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
Little sociopath Annie.
That's the fucking film they should have made, isn't it? But they wanted, the PG rating. They wanted it.
They just
Oh, you
cut
got
those
PG, do
last
you?
3 scenes at the end.
Yeah.
She comes back for the one lady and just sets her on fire altogether. Watches her run around and burn down the orphanage. Just standing outside like that girl smiling outside the meme.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that.
So you guys go to Yellowbeard, and what do you say? Hey, can you put out feelers for an alchemist and miner? Do you want them to look for both, just one or the other? What do you say to Yellowbeard?
Yeah. Can you hey, we need these people. Can you just give a gander out and about for us, and if you hear of anybody or spot anybody that seems like, you know, they'd be any good, let us know.
So, Yellowbeard pulls out this little black book that he's got, looks through, and he says, the two. He was like, I've needed those artisans before. He was like, the contact that I have for each of those, the people I normally go through, is a guy named Howe in Summertide. And he is usually get smaller but usually potent orders from him. He was like, if I find that if I do smaller orders with Howe in Summertide, then I have less chance of getting screwed over, because he mentions that he has been screwed over before by him. He says, but Howe's one of the best alchemists. He's just not the best person.
Oh, son of a bitch! That's the same guy, isn't it?
I mean, without knowing, it's very easy to make that connection. They're both talking about an alchemist who happens to be in Summertide, who's kind of sketchy, right?
Yeah.
He does mention. He says there's a dwarf in Phandalin named Ogren, and he's the best miner and scout. What would you call someone who does like scouting for land? I can't think of what that
Surveyor.
God.
I have a question about Ogren.
Yes.
Is he a lewd drunk?
He is very much a drunk. He says he tries to hit on anything that has two legs. He says, but he's mostly unsuccessful because he looks like he was born in a mine.
All right.
Okay.
He says, Ogren's great. He was like, and most of the time I like dealing with Ogren because I don't even pay him in coins. I usually pay him in alcohol, and then that factors just into my normal bar budget. I just, pick up an extra couple casks of ale, send it to him instead, and he gets me the stones and rocks that I need. He was like, guy's great. He was like, but don't expect to understand most of what comes out of his mouth, because I haven't seen him when he's not drunk.
Oh, alcoholism is a disease. Is no one treating this man? I wonder if I Greater Restoration away his alcoholism.
I think he might be pissed if you.
No, because if I Greater Restoration away his alcoholism, he get drunk a lot easier.
Oh, that's fair.
Would he?
I assume so. I mean, generally the reason you build tolerance, right? So.
Oh right.
If we could cure that, his tolerance would go. Well, then you have the OD issue, right? Where a lot of people, one of the reasons a lot of opioid addicts they tend to overdose when they relapse is because their body becomes accustomed to a certain dosage, and then they take that same dosage when they go, when they relapse, and then they nearly die.
Well, you want to cure him of his tolerance, not of his desire for it, though.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly the implications of curing someone's alcoholism with Greater Restoration and how it would work in world.
Got a feeling it might make things worse rather than better for him.
But if he can just not be drunk for a little bit, that's fine for me. That's what I need. This is not about him. This is about me. I don't give a shit.
And it's already inhibited because aren't dwarves resistant to poison anyways? Or are they straight up immune to it?
Resistant.
Yeah. So he says, if you want, I can try and scout around for. Beard says I can try and scout around for more, for other people if you're not interested in either of these guys. He says, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily know who to start with on the minor aspect. He says, but I can find other alchemists. He was like, honestly, they're a dime a dozen. It's gonna be more finding a good alchemist that's gonna be the difficulty.
Couldn't we just talk to the princess? I feel like this is something the princess should know. Like she's ruling a city. Like I imagine she probably hires like surveyors and miners quite frequently. She might, and she probably doesn't have the patience to deal with people who are nonsensical like me. So there's a good chance we could just ask her, and she probably knows someone who's like an actual business person who like wants to succeed and not drink themselves into the tank or whatever.
Okay with Ogren.
It's not like you have to pay him workers' comp. He's a contractor.
So we have to interact with him, and then if he fucks it up, it's just dying.
It seems unlikely that he's going to fuck it up, though.
That's why we have a party face who is Halbjorn. 100%.
I mean, if you could even call him that.
What would you call him instead?
A big dumb bag of meat.
Well, your words are hurtful.
I've been feeling feisty for the last week or so, and I'm not real sure why.
How long has this headache been
Probably
going
because
on?
you haven't killed anybody.
The headache's been. I have really bad sinus issues, and they've been really bad this year. So I've had like a sinus headache on and off for like the last 7 weeks. Basically, it's been awful.
That would probably have something to do with your snootiness, nippiness.
I mean, I'm always a little nippy, but it's been real bad.
Well, I never said his words were untrue, just that they were hurtful.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was gonna say. I was thinking about that meme. You have greatly offended me, even if you've accurately portrayed my culture. So
Well,
do we go to Alicia, or do we just contact her somehow?
We just contact her somehow, I think, and ask her if she knows anyone who's not a shitter, because we're up to our ears in shitters right now, and I don't like it.
So I assume your business with Yellowbeard is done. You go back to the tower. Is that correct?
I
Yeah.
assume so.
So you go back to the tower, send a message off to Alicia. You say, "What? Hey, do you know any good miners and alchemists who aren't drunks and skeevy?"
Yeah, do you know any good, like, high quality miners who are above board, the kind of person you would hire to do, work for your your nation and not,
So
minus the knee, by the way.
she sends back and she says, there's an alchemist that lives in Lucia that I usually go through and contract to do, high level alchemist work. He's above the board. He normally, he normally does projects for Fiona. So, he's got to be on the up and up. She says, as far as a miner goes, she's like, there's a guy I know. And she, you can almost tell from the setting, she's kind of hesitant about saying it. There's, honestly, there's this drunk that I usually employ. And he's a drunk for sure, but I've never seen a better, I've never met a better surveyor. And despite him being a drunk, he's always done the work correctly. He's always done everything well. He's never screwed me over. His just major character flaw is he just really likes to drink. Way
Is
too
his
much.
name
Oh,
Ogren?
okay, so we need to fix him. Got it. So now we've got a project. I'm sorry. Entire campaign is real. We must cure this guy of his alcoholism. That's where we're at. That is our new life. Sorry, guys.
Did you say kill or cure? Because potato.
Sure, if we kill him, he can't do our bidding. We need to get the alcoholism out of him. We need to think of it like an exorcism. We've got to exorcise the alcoholism from him so he can become our minor.
But he could do stuff for us. Necromancy. Hey.
So you're not looking at kill as a negative, really. Then?
I mean, I didn't advocate for killing the poor guy. I just want him to not be a drunk.
Are they can an undead be alcoholic?
I mean, I think if you plied him with enough liquor, then drank the blood, it would probably be alcoholic.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to find a road home for everyone here, right? So if we could kind of kill him, so Halbyon's happy, but if that was to cure him, then Harlan would be happy.
Let's be
Can
real
undead
here.
get drunk?
Let's be real here. Harlan is never really happy.
That's true, yeah. And neither's Halbyon. Once he's killed one person, he moves on to his next project. Generally, kills your
Do
next
not,
person.
do not insult his religion, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's how he worships his goddess. You know, that actually sounds really fucking awful now that I say it out loud. Anywho, so I guess we're probably gonna go with the drunk dwarf, huh?
I think so.
Cool.
What a spectacular sentence.
Let's not kill him, cause funny jokes.
I have no interest in killing, just curing. Think of it this way, because look how much he can get done when he's not an alcohol when he's a drunk. Imagine what he could do if he was sober.
He could be a valuable asset to us that way, yeah. Even more valuable.
So, do we seek out this drunk? Or do we try and get a hold of this werewolf alchemist?
Why
Wait.
not both? We
When
could just
did-
split the party.
No, we're not doing that. When and who said something about this alchemist being a werewolf?
Oh, I'm sorry if it wasn't implied, but anyone who lives in Lucia is a werewolf or
Oh.
were something.
That's right. I remember now. Sorry.
Mhm.
No, you're good.
Werewolf bar mitzvah.
I say we go meet the dwarf if we're not gonna split our time.
Yep, I agree. Let's go see the dwarf. Let's go talk to Augur.
All right, I haven't used the Phandalin map in a while, and it's honestly the only map that I didn't make myself. Stole this right from Lost Mines.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, it has been a long time since we've been here.
This is like stepping into another world.
Right. So you guys make it to Phandalin. I assume you go through the portal, right? You don't spend the travel time there.
Oh no, we portal.
So you use the portal. You end up in town square. As soon as you guys come through and the people notice, oh, the people have came through, then you quickly hear the whispers going through town. Hey, you know, it's the heroes who cleared out who cleared out Sildar. You know, like these are the good guys. You know, like, and you hear like sputtered like whispers of like, I would say like joy, happiness, you know, like good feelings towards you guys. And then you hear the occasional like cheering that you guys are there, right? So I would say it's very much like a hero's welcome once people recognize, oh hey, these guys are cool.
Wasn't it the princess's party that killed Sildar, though?
It was, but the people have assumed that you're part of that party.
We did a lot of other work in the area.
Hang on. Of the characters, was it not just that Samuel's the only one left of that party, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Samuel's the one that they recognize as, you know,
course.
the
Of
rest of the
course he
group
is.
kind of, you know, the rest of the group, they don't necessarily, you know, they're like, oh, was he actually there? Oh, yeah, I think so. You know, like, but they're like, for sure, Samuel was among that group. So he's
Yeah.
top class, and anyone who's running with him must be as well.
But if there is any mistaken sort of credit going Samuel's way for anything huge and heroic that went even beyond the huge and heroic things he did, he's not going to shatter somebody's illusions by. Do you know what I mean? He's going to go along with it if people think he
Sure.
was the main man in all that. Do you know
But
what I mean?
consider this: you would be living in the princess's shadow if you did that.
Well, I suppose so.
You know, even since you guys have been here last, it was starting to, like, the town was starting to really expand. Before, you know, it had been on the upswing since they had found the Forge of Spells. It had been on the upswing since then, while Sildar was still in power. But now, since Sildar's gone, it's really taken an upswing, you know. So the town's very modern, as far as, you know, modernity can go in this, you know, in this world. And the people quickly gather around you, you know, as you step off the portal, and everyone wants you to shake their hand or kiss their baby, or, you know, like I said, this is a true hero's welcome once they start to notice you guys. And about 15 minutes or so after you guys have, you know, trying to make your way through this crowd that's just huddled around you, trying to just catch a glimpse of you, right? About 15 minutes or so after that, then the mayor or governor, or however you want to look at it, named Thelodian, small dwarfen man, cleric, well, paladin turned cleric. He comes and greets you guys, and, you know, he sounds gruff, but his the way they speak to you guys may be a little rough, but you can tell in the intention behind his voice that he's a good, you know, that he likes you guys, or he at least appreciates the work that you've done. You know, and he comes and he says, you know, hello, you know, like, how are you guys? What are you doing in town? Like, how can I help you guys? Except much more gruff and deep than my high tenor voice can portray.
We were hoping to see if we could talk to Ogren.
He says, Ogren? He was like, man, he was like, the guy, he was like, yeah, I can, show you to his shop. He kind of, Thelodian kind of looks around, and he tries to get, like, you can see he's trying to figure out what time of day he is. He says, and then he, comes back to, he says back to the party, he says, he should be fairly sober at this point. He hasn't drank too much this early in the morning. He was like, but once you get past noon, he was like, there's no point in talking to him because you can't understand what he says. So he says, if you follow me this way, I'll take you to his shop. So good.
Sure. Yeah, lead the
Yeah.
way.
Lead the way.
So you guys follow down the road a little bit, and you find this. It literally looks like someone took a house-sized boulder and just cut into it or mined out of it. It's very different from the rest of the houses, which are, marble and hard stone and, wood accents instead of wood frame. And then Thelodian wraps, his wrist on the door, and he says, Ogren, are you decent? And you hear a big coming from the back. And Thelodian says, okay, he's fine. Like, let's go in. So you go in, and immediately the first, like, smell that pierces your nose is like the strong stench of some really high grade alcohol. We're talking 180 proof or better.
Okay.
And you see bottles all over the place. It's kind of dark. It's mostly lit by lantern light. But it's very, you see the occasional bottle that's hit by the light all over the place. All the bottles that you can see are empty. There's kind of a cask in here as well. Based on like the based on the like how the shape has kind of the shape of the barrel has kind of come in. You can tell that it's maybe somewhere between a half and a quarter full. One of those big, huge, I don't know, what are they, like 50-gallon drums of
Mhm.
ale. And Ogren says, oh, Thelodian, like, who you brought here today? I don't like visitors. And Thelodian says, hey, these are friends of the princess. So be on your best behavior. He kind of like snaps at him a little bit. And Ogren, like brushes himself off real quick, and comes into the light. And you can see this dwarf is just covered head to toe in just dirt and dust from mining. He's got splotches of like, it almost looks like black splotches from coal and whatnot that he's dug through. Small guy, but real big beard. It probably goes to, I don't know, below his waist, but above his knees. He says, "Oh, my apologies." You can hear a little bit of his slur already. He says, "What can I do for you guys today?"
We need a miner.
He says, well, you came to the right place. I'm the best one around. He says, of course, I'm even better at mining the worm at the bottom of the bottle, but who are we counting on?
You.
Crippling alcoholism.
Did you say we're curing your alcoholism?
No, I said crippling alcoholism.
He says, "Oh, it's not alcoholism." He says, "I just fancy the drink."
Okay.
How many days can you go without a drink, Ogden? Ogden, whatever the fuck your name is.
He says, he kind of like strokes his long beard for a second, and he says, "You know, I don't remember the last day I went without a drink."
That's the definition of alcoholism, just so we're clear.
He says, "Well, you know, what about can I mine for you? Do you need somewhere scouted? Like, what kind of mining things do you need done?"
We need large quantities of the fanciest ore. I'm not saying that in character, but that's basically what we need, right? Like, I don't remember the name of the ore the dude told us.
Yeah.
Silver tungsten.
Yeah, we need that. Honestly, we're probably going to need some iron and stuff as well. We're probably just going to. We basically need silver tungsten and then some collection of other things we're going to probably need at some point.
He says, this sounds like sort of a long-term contract," he says. "I like those. They pay out better, and usually I can get more alcohol." He says, "Okay, you know, like, do you have a spot in mind, or do you need me to look for a spot for these?"
I think we're going to need to look for a spot, right? Like we don't have any plans.
Yeah, I don't think we have an area currently. Yes. The answer is yes. We need all the services.
He says, "Well, you know, like, let me get together my he says, "Well, let me get together my equipment." He says, where's your base of operations? You know, where can I set up shop, and then from there survey a close place?" He says, "Because I generally don't like to work too far away from where I'm delivering the goods to."
Out of character. I have totally forgotten where we are.
Mech. We're based out
Thank
of
you.
Mech.
Thank you.
He says, he kind of, you know, strokes his big beard again. He says, there's some mountains across the river and to the southwest a little bit." He says, I might be able to find some good stuff there." He says, "Oh," and he turns back to the party. He says, "Okay, let me gather up my things, and then I'll go with you." And he takes this big huge burlap sack, probably big enough to fit and tie up Halbjorn in. Like, this is the size of the bag. And he just starts throwing in all of these pickaxes and chisels and you know, different types of mining equipment, piles them all in. After about 10 minutes, he's cleared out most of his shop, and he takes the bag and he throws it over the shoulder, and the sack is, he's got it he's got it over his shoulder, I would say a significant portion, but then it's barely above the ground. You know, we're talking like a centimeter or less, just hanging over the ground. This, you know, 7-8 foot sack full of shit. And by the average, without picking it up, it probably looks like it's, you know, 300-400 pounds. This bag is. And he says, "All right, let's go." Where are we headed to?
The portal.
The drunk tank. No.
Hmm.
So he follows you guys to the portal. Thelodian says, is there anything else I can do to help you guys in the meantime?
No.
Yeah, I think that was it.
He says in passing, okay, like good luck. May the road rise to meet you. And he says, in case you didn't know, since Jessica's return and the mercenaries that you've contracted, he says they're successfully holding the tear. He says so it was on the expanse. They're successfully holding it and hope to be soon, like bringing down the size of the affected, like where the armies are pouring out from. Because it had gotten to the point where enough of the fiend army had come out and sort of captured the area around the tear, and they had set up like a makeshift forward operating base outside of the tear. So no longer could the good armies even get to the tear without going through hordes.
Mm.
Sounds like we should send even more people then. Press our advantage. There's something to be said for Zerg tactics.
Maybe.
So you guys go through the portal, go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ogren stumbles out of the portal after you get back, and he says, "Oh, that's worse than some of the drinking spells I've had." He, like steadies himself for a second. He's like, "I think I'm and he just throws up a little bit. He's like, "I'm good." And you see like little pieces of the little bit of food that he's ate in his beard after he's
God.
thrown up. He's just
No, we don't, cause prestidigitation. And if you do that again, I will send you through the portal 10 more fucking times.
Ew.
He says, "Thanks. It's been a while since I cleaned this up." And you see instantly, like his normal beard color before was, or looked like it was some sort of mix of like dirt brown, black, gray. This mix. And now that you've used prestidigitation, then you can see he's actually got a big red beard.
Oh God.
Okay, Halbjorn's gonna take his last compressed water pellet and just crush it over top of him.
Do we have to do this right here? Like, can we not
Okay,
go
okay.
out into the courtyard to do this?
Yeah, let's get this man a fucking shower and some food. No booze.
We can take him out, sure, but Jesus.
Back and
Christ.
shoot him? Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking disaster.
It hurts me more than it hurts you.
So
Let's make him have a bath. Really.
Yeah, can we clean his soul? Because that's what we need to do.
So you guys get him cleaned up and whatnot, and you can see, about an hour later or so after he's been cleaned up, and what comes out of the drain looks like some sort of awful mix of water, a little bit of dried blood, and like sludge come out from all the dirt and grime and whatnot.
No.
He gets out of it, and he's actually, like I said, he's got a red beard, he's got bright red hair. He's in, more decent clothes that I'm sure you guys have found around one way or another. And he his skin is surprisingly some shade of like pale pearl white. While as before, as I said, it looked like he looked fairly dark all over, and then there were spots that were pure black. Now that you can see his skin color, it's clear that he doesn't get out in the sun very much.
Or shower.
Or shower. I suppose we'll get technical about it. Or shower.
How Bjorn's gonna collect a vial of the sludge that used to be on him?
Ew.
Do you think we could weaponize this?
Oh,
That's what I was
fucking hell.
waiting for.
I mean,
And-
surely.
There's bits of sick from months ago in that, and there's probably, I was going to say human shit. Well, I'm sure there's human shit in there. There's definitely dwarf shit in there.
Yeah, we could
The two worst kinds
definitely
of shit,
poison somebody to death with this.
probably.
um,
Probably yourself if you keep playing with it, to be honest.
That's what the vial's for.
Oh, fair enough.
when you put in the vial, it like slides in like slime sort of thing.
Oh,
And if you shake the vial, it looks like I would say like a very solid, thick jello that you can see kind of like slide in one whole unit on the inside. The smell is just beyond words.
if you
Um,
ever allow yourself to get into this condition again, I will fucking kill you.
Make him drink that shit.
Yeah, I will make you drink this.
Yeah. There we go. If he starts to drink too much, say, well, you can carry on, but you've got to drink this first, and he'll just vomit it all back up. That'll cure him.
Yeah, just purge and then start again.
Yeah. He'll probably get a taste for it. I'll probably start using it as a mixer. Shit. Ogre and dwarf sludge.
So he while you guys are, I assume you kind of give him a little bit of a show of where he's working and the other people who are in your base and stuff like that, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And he finds Gearfried and he says, "Oh, you old fucking dragon shit," he says. It's good to see your ugly ass face again. Gearfried says, Ogren, they must have cleaned you up good. He says, because I barely smell the alcohol still on you. So they chat back a little back and forth, and Gearfried informs him, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what they've contracted me for," and Ogren gets an idea of what he needs to do, what materials he needs to look for. And he says, "Okay." Ogren says, "Okay, I'll get scouting." He says, "Unless you need anything in the present." He said, "It'll take me a day or so to go and scout." And he said, "Once I've scouted out a good position, then I'll find some general laborers and we'll get this we'll get the materials that you need out." He says, I know of a mountain range, not too far from here that we can start getting into, and from there, we should be able to find the materials that you need."
Good deal.
Well, sounds good to me.
So he leaves, and as you guys see him leave, he takes out a little vial and as he's walking down the path, he pulls out a little, not a vial. What is that fucking called?
Flask.
Yep, takes out a little flask and sips a little bit of it on a goes woo, and goes on his merry way down the bridge. And Gearfried finds you guys and laughs, and he said he's honestly the best the best miner you can find. He says, minus his raging alcohol problem. He says he's a great guy, and I've never seen the alcohol actually affect his work. He says, honestly, I don't know at this point if the guy can even get drunk.
That's fair. Just probably a state of being at this point.
He doesn't have a BAC anymore, it's an ABC.
He doesn't have a blood system, it's an alcohol system.
Lord, have mercy.
Like, to put it in perspective, Gearfried says the little time that I've spent from you and talking to people, he was like, he could outdrink all of you simultaneously.
I have
he
no
could
doubt
go
of that.
one after another and still be fine.
Yeah.
So, what to next?
That took like less than a day, right?
Yep.
We could go talk to the big pepperoni alchemist.
Yeah. We could do that.
Now, are we talking about Shady Alchemist, or are we talking about Werewolf Alchemist?
Well,
Woofy.
pepperoni.
Oh, pepperoni. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you said pepperoni, and I was like, okay, that's a weird description, but whatever. So do you guys just try and show up in Lucia, or do you guys try and contact Fiona first, or
I mean, we've got a direct line to Fiona, so we might as well say, hey, we're gonna show up. We'd like to have an interview with your alchemists.
Yeah.
And Fiona writes back and she says, that's fine. She says, just please don't travel on foot. Like, you'll be stopped way before you get into town. She said, just use the portal. You'll come to you'll come to like my castle sort of thing, and then I'll escort you myself. She says, because most of my citizens don't take kindly to non-were creatures.
Understood. we noticed. Yeah, well, I guess we'll be on our way then.
So you guys go to Lucia, and the city is unlike any you've seen so far. There's the houses are built out of very natural materials, but they're somehow fortified. Anyone who has any amount of magical ability just can feel the magic that's in the air, among the buildings, everything. You come through the portal and Fiona's there to greet you guys, and she says, let me give you let me walk you down to where the alchemist is.
I thought she was going to say the aisle, and I was going to be like,
Oh my.
Oh my.
How forward of her.
um, so you come outside, and the first thing you see is this massive tree. I would say the best like real life description of it, or how close resemblance to real life things would be like a sequoia would probably be maybe like among the oldest sequoias there are. This tree is probably 400-500 feet up in the air. It's got branches that extend out, you know, a couple 100 feet. The width of this tree itself is big enough that there could probably be a whole house and still have parts of the tree on the outside of it if you put a house in the middle of it. There's some scattered whispers as you guys walk through town to this alchemist shop. And she raps on the door and says, Syl, we're coming in. That's how she responds. And that's what she calls out. And you hear some scurried movement in the back as she's opening the door. And you open the door and you see this like meticulously kept shop. Everything's in its own place, and beyond that, every tool that's along the wall or every empty vial is labeled. It has its own like place in the table and in the walls and stuff like that. It would not be outside of the realm of possibility to say how much of or how bad this person's OCD must be. um and out from the back comes this this dark black werewolf, probably standing a couple inches taller and wider than Halbjorn. This real brute of a looking guy. He comes out and he says, "My queen, like what do I owe the pleasure? Like what are you doing here?" And she introduces you guys. She says, "These are some of my friends." She says they've come here to ask of your services. And he goes on to say, how, and of course, my queen, and he turns to you guys. What can I do? What can I do for you guys? Any friend of the queen is top priority for me.
Well, we are in need of an alchemist. We were kind of hoping we could hire you for some time.
And he glances over to Fiona, and Fiona, nods her head. And he says, perfect. Like I'd be happy to do so. He says, I may have to occasionally take orders from the queen as well, but outside of that, like my skills are at your disposal.
All right.
He
Well,
says, and he asks, I'm sorry. He asks, would you like me to operate out my shop? Do you have somewhere that I can operate out of? Like what's the plan here? What do you need done? That sort of thing.
Step 1,
Yeah.
cut a hole in the box.
just gonna ask him, how quickly can you get your stuff packed up?
He says, well, I can pack up my things in about half an hour or so. He can pack up what needs to be packed up. He says, so I assume where we're going doesn't have much of a workspace.
No, but we can We can build you the best one the money can buy.
He's not lying. He's telling the truth. We really can.
He says, okay, perfect. You know, like when we get there, I'll assess what you have and what we need built. And, you know, but let's give me a moment to collect my things. And he pulls out this small pouch that's clearly a bag of holding. As he pulls it out and the top opens up to a much bigger size, and he starts meticulously putting things into the bag. Fiona says to the group, you know, while you're here, I can show you around town for a little bit while we wait for him to get his things. I'll have my son come and escort you, as I need to take care of some business on my own. If you'd prefer, she says, or if you'd like, you can just stay here, and I'll have my son, you know, come and take you guys back to the portal. Not the bad son. She makes it clear.
I think a tour would be lovely. What about you guys?
Yeah, a tour might be nice. And yeah, okay. Yep, thank you.
I don't know.
Out
Don't we
of
have... Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick, out of character though, this might be a remember what happened the last time we left an important NPC by themselves?
Yeah.
They
Got
got
murdered
stabbed to death.
by one of her children.
No.
No, don't leave him alone. Some fucking werewolf purist bullshit is gonna come and be like, oh, he's helping the enemy, and then fucking genocide him.
So you elect someone to stay behind?
Halbjorn.
Oh, I was gonna say Aylin will volunteer for it.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in going on a tour, so
Everyone's like, no, just kidding. We lost an NPC this way,
Well-
so we're not doing this again.
How about Halbjorn goes on the tour then? You know, gets all the sights and shit. And then whoever else wants to stay can stay.
Okay, I'll stay.
We should definitely probably take Samuel though on the tour, because you know, he's the fearless leader.
Of course.
He has to be seen.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I would say like Fiona snaps her fingers, and out of a cloud of smoke comes this average height werewolf. He looks different from the rest of the werewolves that you've come across so far, in the sense that he's not very hairy. He's you can still definitely tell by like his facial structure that he is a werewolf. But he looks very cleaned up, as close to a normal humanoid as you might be able to get. Like you can even see the like pointy fey ears he had at one point. You can, you know, just see the beginnings of them. You know, and he says, my name is Rom. You know, I'm happy to take my mother's guests around. He's like, but stay fairly close. He was like, the due to poor experiences that many of these were creatures have had with normal civilized people, they're at the very least afraid, and at the very most angry towards normal humanoids. Non-half breeds is how he calls them.
it's cute that he thinks we're civilized.
So Halbjorn and Samuel, he walks you guys around and shows you. And like I said, most of the houses and buildings are all naturally made, but there's everywhere you look, there's spell work engraved into these buildings, into whatnot. And there's a large wall encompassing the city, at least 100 feet high. Around all the way, back up against the mountains that are along the sea. And Rom describes this whole area to you, kind of gives you the lay of the land. He says, beyond the city gates, there's our military operations and our defenses and stuff like that. He says we're very protected here in the woods. And he goes and shows you. It's rather like, even comparably to a city that's composed like vast majority is mages. The amount of spell work and magic that's in the area here easily dwarfs it. It's very peaceful. It's quiet, calm, and occasionally, on and off, as he's showing you, parts of the city, then you see people go to this big tree, and now that you've seen a different side of it, there's a well on one side, and you see people drop in coins to the well every so often.
We'll ask him about that.
And he says, this is, he says, well, this tree is the last tree from our homeland, or well, from my mother's homeland. There's this is the last Fey, like 100% Fey tree. And he tells you a word in Sylvan, what it is, but that, I'm gonna guess Sylvan isn't one of the languages that either of you two know, correct? Samuel and Halbjorn.
No. He does
No.
know Elvish, if that helps.
And so you can kind of understand the meaning from it. And Halbjorn, the meaning you kind of get from it is like tree of life would be the best sort of translation that you can kind of piece together. Or among the words that sound most Elvish. That's kind of what you get from it.
Okay.
He says, so people come and pray to the tree, and the tree brings good fortune to those who pray and give of themselves to it.
How does that work exactly?
He says, well, for example, and he points to this elderly lady who had kind of hobbled up to the to the well and dropped in a couple coins. And he doesn't say anything. He just keeps pointing her out, right? He just points over towards her and before says, "Watch." She drops in a couple coins and sits there, meditates for a while, and you see just barely some sort of like gold colored dust come off the tree and come on this elderly werewolf lady. And when she walks away from the well, she doesn't hobble. I would say it's almost like her youth is restored. And after she walks away, then Rom says to you guys, she's her age can't be cured. He says, but the pain in her joints, the stiffness in her muscles, he was like, that can all be fixed. And so by giving to the tree gives back. And so now she'll be in better shape for quite some time. He says, but eventually the effects will wear off. and she'll either
Interesting.
have to come back to the tree or deal with her problems. He said, and then he goes on to say, you know, the tree gives the whole town life. Anyone who comes and gives to the tree gives back. He says it's a continual cycle, and by us giving to the tree, then the tree is, you know, continues to grow, continues to get stronger. It's our most sacred possession, if you want to call it that, he says.
And the tree, does it metabolize the gold? Or the metal from the coins?
And he brings you guys over to the well, and he says, you know, no one's allowed to go in the well. He says, and anyone who has done so on some sort of prank has never been heard from again. He says, but if you look into the bottom of the well, and he points it out, he says, I've never gone in. But he says, as you can see at the bottom of the well, there is no bottom. He says, I don't know where it goes. That would be a question for my mother, how it works. He says, just as long as I've been alive and been, you know, once I've retained my sanity, then there's never been, she's always conveyed to me and my brother never to go in the well.
Interesting. May we give to the well?
He says, go. He says, by all means, give to the well, make your prayers known, and the tree will help you. He says, you know, like anyone in town is welcome to give to the tree and reap its benefits.
All right. Well, he's gonna. Everyone's gonna toss a handful of coins in. Say a small prayer, and then wait for Samuel to do the same, or not. It's up to him.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
And you know, shortly after, you feel this presence or this sort of feeling, this voice in the back of your mind. And it's, you know, it's sort of, I would say, like a fortune, not a fortune cookie, like a real fortune. And says, you know, it does sound kind of fortune cookie though. That this voice says, you know, you have a long journey ahead. So like, let me put your soul at ease so that you don't have to worry about these problems that will continue to grow. You feel very at ease. If you want to mark on your character sheets, you get a point of inspiration.
How lovely.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
sorry,
Have we ever used that before?
I don't generally. Every once in a while, I give them out, like, based on things that you guys do. But as far as I recall, since we don't use them very often, you can
Yeah.
use it to gain advantage on pretty much anything.
Oh yeah, I was reading about it the day. I've forgotten it. I've kind of like completely forgotten about it. To be fair.
It's
Yeah,
been like a year since we've used it in game. So
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, the last time we had inspiration, I was in a homeless shelter.
Oh right.
We're just not very inspiring, guys.
no.
We're murder hobos.
Well, it fucking worked then. That point of inspiration, didn't it?
You know, it's a rags to riches story.
Absolutely.
Step 1, do the murder. Step 2, be inspired.
Yeah, step 3 is profit.
Step 4 is the downfall of capitalism.
You make a religion out of your murder. Then you bring about the downfall of capitalism.
Whoa there, Marilyn, or whoa there, fucking Charles Manson, calm down.
Hey, 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 hey. I prefer to be more of a Jim Jones type. We're being we're being technical here. Uplifting the people, forcing them to drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, it better be Kool-Aid, not fucking Flavor Aid or some dollar store knockoff. God damn it.
So Rom leads you back to the alchemist, and while you were gone, Samuel and Aelin and Harlan, you see him meticulously pack up his things, and he mutters to himself every now and again. But by the time that Samuel and Halbjorn return, then he's got everything packed up, ready to go in this pouch. Like I said, obviously a bag of holding that's no bigger than like a coin purse. And he says, "Okay, I'm ready to go." He says, "My name is."
Slim Shady.
He says, "My name is Sil." He was like, "And I'll be pleased to help you in any way I can." And so Rom says to you guys, is there anything anything you guys want to see before I take you back to my mother's palace?
No,
Uh,
I think I don't think so.
So he takes you guys back, and Fiona meets you guys by the portal. right about this point, you hear a distant horn blow, and Fiona says to Rom, she says, "That must be your brother again," and she said, "Go deal with him." And she snaps her fingers, and in another cloud of smoke, Rom's gone. She says, keep Sil in good condition. She's like, as one of my citizens, it's my sworn duty to protect them. So please take good care of him. She's like, but I wish you well. My other son, Reem, has continued to make attempts to breach the city. She's like, so I must deal with that. So I must take my leave. Like, please make your way through the portal. And she's not rude about it. She's just very frank. Like, nicely collect your stuff and get out.
Yep,
of
makes sense.
course.
Thank you for the help.
She says, if you need anything else, just let me know. So you guys step back through the portal, end up back in your tower, and Sil starts looking around, and he says, the amount of work that's here, I and he starts flipping through, and he says, much of this is in the Queen's handwriting. He says, so these original texts and stuff like that, like I have so much to work with here. He was like, but as far as the workstation itself, I'll start drawing up what I need. It'll take me a little bit to check out the area and see what needs to be, what I need, and then let you guys know shortly.
Oh. Like we said, best workshop money can buy.
So gets to work on that, and in the meantime, after he leaves, then Malekith comes to you guys and with Ciela in tow and says, like, guys, there's been a report in Lucia that the younger son is making some sort of approach. He's like, I'm not worried, but I wanted to let you guys know. Like, I hadn't seen where you guys had gone. And Ciela backs him up and says, like, you guys were just there. It's nothing to be worried about. She's like, but we'll keep monitoring the situation.
Of course. Thank you for your diligence.
So about half an hour later, Syl comes to you guys and says, like, to have the best possible workshop, take about $7,000 and should be able to collect the ingredients and have them here by tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
even faster. Okay.
So, assuming that everyone's okay with that cost, I'll put it in.
Sounds good to me.
Spent $14,000 today. Jesus. A little bit of a spending spree.
Yeah, shit,
Dollars?
yeah. Gold, not
Which
dollars.
which plane of existence have we gone to now?
The plane of infinite orphanages. War by Annie. You will never escape. This is your hell now.
Oh god.
7,000 gold pieces. Yeah, you guys are on a big spending spree today.
No regrets.
No regrets.
We could have spent them on giant floppy dildo baseball bats. Actually, I wouldn't have regretted that either.
I mean, if we bought 14,000 gold with them, I would have regretted it because that would have been thousands of them.
Yeah, we'll have one for every day of our goddamn life.
So unless we're trying to go into that business, what do you do for a living? We sell giant baseball-sized floppy dildos.
There's a high demand for them.
Yeah, surprisingly. I mean, turns out you slap a big burly man in the face with one, he's a lot less eager to fight you afterwards.
Way more interested in something else.
Halbjorn just replaces his mace with one.
Yeah, now you got a whole nother problem, brother.
Yikes.
This is a piercing weapon, but you don't want to know where it pierces.
Extra fucking yikes.
It's an
Isn't that the
oversized piercing
point?
weapon.
Isn't that the point, though? To the fucking part?
You're technically correct, and that's the best kind of correct, but
Yeah, and now all those fuck to death jokes I keep making are you know what? Let's abandon this fucking line of I'm done with this.
you're the one who started it.
Yeah.
I did. Still no regrets, but sometimes you just gotta stop yourself and say,
I feel like you'd only have regrets when we finally get to the bad guy who's using one as a weapon, and then he captures you, and then you feel real dumb.
nah, because like I said, then he's got a whole nother problem to deal with. The bad guy.
If he captures you, then Feeling dumb is the least of the feeling problems you're gonna have.
Let's be real here. No one should threaten Halbjorn with a fucking good time.
Yeah.
The bad guy will say, "Touch your toes. I'm gonna show you where the wild goose goes."
Hopping down the old bunny trail tonight, boy.
You Nebraska showing Dale.
Yep, it is. So, it's evening at this point. You guys have spent a full day collecting artisans. Collecting's probably a misnomer. Recruiting artisans.
Nope,
We're
there
not
are-
slavers.
So what do we do now? Do we wait until tomorrow to do much? Like I said, it's early evening, so there's still time to do a few tasks.
Bollocks.
What else do we have on our plate?
Well, your contracts all end with the mercenary groups in 5 days. The city council vote is in 7, and the slavers are in 11.
We should probably get those contracts taken care of, then spend even more money.
Yeah.
I have to get back to doing the murders here soon because we need more money.
Yeah.
Gotta do the murders. Someone's gotta.
So do we want to deal with the mercenaries tonight and this evening still, or move on and do them fresh in the morning?
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be too like. I feel like we could just go do it. I don't feel like this would be a big deal. We've negotiated with them already. We have a good contract, and just say, hey, we want to add another contract for when this one ends, and just go from there. Pay them and move on with our lives.
Do you want the same 3 groups that you currently have? Do you want different groups?
Oh, what we have so far seems to be working out.
Yeah, unless you've got a new unit of combat mimes, I think I'm good.
I do think words. I did suggest earlier that we should send even more. You know, slap a 1.5 or a 2x multiplier on that.
Okay, slow your fucking roll. Spent 14,000 gold today. Like I said, unless they've acquired combat mimes, I'm good. I only want combat mimes because the idea is funny to me.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, what are you gonna do when one of the mimes loading a gun and then your buddies start dropping dead?
They're working for us, not against us.
For now.
The combat mime rising will happen eventually, but they have not risen up yet. Give it a bit.
So, these other contracts, do you want them to run concurrently, or do you want them to just like re-up when the next ones are done?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they'll begin. Let's see. $21.
Thankfully, at least most of our spending is like we spent it and it's spent forever. We don't ever need to upgrade our alchemy hut again. That's the one. It's a one-time cost.
Yeah, the 14 grand was all all one-time costs, so that's helpful. Okay. So you've sent out word. These contracts will start when the next ones end. Anything else for today?
Today, as in today, this session, or today, as in this in-game day? 'Cause
No.
I'm confused.
Today and this in-game day.
Okay,
Because
cool.
now it's
yeah.
late evening.
I got a bit confused then, to be honest.
It sounds like it's time to have some dinner and go to bed.
That's fair. As long as everyone agrees, we're good to go. Any objections?
No.
All right. A new day starts. What do you guys have on the agenda for this day?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Holding our dicks, apparently.
Doing what with our dicks? I didn't fully hear that.
Said we're holding our peni in our hand.
Oh, right.
apparently,
Okay.
Collectively. Yeah.
So am I helping
Team.
somebody, or like what's going on here? 'Cause
Collectively sounds like we've just all. I don't want to actually follow that image through. Honest.
No, please continue.
Well, it just sounds like we've all sort of like jammed them all together and then we've clasped all of our hands around them. It sounds a bit. Do you know what I mean?
We are the best
Oh.
of friends by now, aren't we?
Everyone likes a good elephant walk.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. When was the election again? Too many numbers in my head right now.
The election is now in.
There was a 7 involved.
The election is now in 6 days, as it is
6 days.
the next day.
Yeah.
And then there was something in 3 days, now 2?
5 days and now 4, and those were the contracts.
Okay.
Was there not 10 days as well? There's now must be 9.
The slavers.
Oh, God, right, okay.
That was 11, now 10, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Unless I just can't yeah.
Nope, you are correct. That's why I put this in the catch-all D&D, so that's easy and we can just look at it and see.
No, we have to suffer.
Isn't suffering how we build more character?
Yeah.
I thought that was done with new character sheets.
I was gonna say D&D Beyond there's an app for that.
I was gonna just mention that since you have done another contract, the price for the 3 groups that you have employed are $100 cheaper. So you save $300 versus the last time you did them.
Gold.
Gold.
Okay.
Gold. dollars, money, it all fucking spends.
Words are all made up anyway.
Exactly.
Still remains, what are we doing today?
Well, if there's nothing concrete on the schedule, why don't we just bullshit something? Unless you just want to like time skip. Time skip.
It's up to you guys.
We could hold a big rah rally for Yellowbeard to get even more people to like him.
Oh, like a campaign rally.
Yeah.
Can we get him to dance to YMCA like a complete fucking twat? That got somebody elected, didn't it?
With a high enough charisma, the answer is
I
probably
still-
yes.
I still can't believe that actually happened.
What actually
The
happened?
footage, there's at Donald Trump's campaign rallies. He was
Oh.
coming out. He was walking out to YMCA by the Village People.
Of course he
Now, I'm assumed that song is like people know that song in America.
Oh,
would.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Yeah, because the Village People are like leather clad. Well, they're not just all leather clad, but it's just very much a gay anthem. And even if you took it at face value, I don't think he would even have a clue what about YMCA. It was just one of the most embarrassing things in the world, and everybody still laughs at it. I suppose maybe everyone's moved on. It's just still stuck in my head. But yeah, let's do that for Yellowbeard. We'll sing YMCA. I feel like I dreamt that whole episode actually now. Sure it happened.
So campaign rally? Vote for Yellowbeard or we kill your family? Just kidding. Vote for
I think
Yellowbeard or
we
the
do
opposition will kill your family. There you go.
I think we do a
That's how
Yellowbeard.
politics work.
Generally.
I don't know. I feel like we just have a big party. So back in the old times in the U.S., you would basically just ply people with liquor and say, "Vote for me," and I feel like that would work really well here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just host a
Yeah.
couple more parties. One down at the bar, at Yellowbeard's bar specifically. And you stink. I do not want you near my pillow.
Well, I don't want you near my pillow.
Well, you don't smell like cat shit. Why do you smell like cat shit?
So you guys throw a rally, get some drinks for people at the Pirates Hook. Get people involved, get people cheering up. Post this little rally. Yellowbeard in the polls. Yellowbeard leads by quite a bit. Next after him is this blacksmith that was under contract by the Vanguard. Then next after that is the not so good aristocrat child, or bad, however you want to look at it. Then beyond that, you have good aristocrat, and finally in fifth among the place of. There are several candidates in this field. Let's be clear. There's probably 17 or so candidates. The top 5 runners, as I mentioned, are the last of the 5 is the merchant who's kind of filled in this niche spot that Felicity used to do. But Yellowbeard's a clear front runner, taking in a like the ranked choice vote. He probably takes He's probably at like 75%. While most of the others are somewhere between 50 and 35. All the 12 candidates underneath are somewhere under the 25 mark.
So then it's safe to say that he is secure in his position.
Yes, definitely seeming so.
Okay. Well, as long as he doesn't fuck up, then we ought to be good. Or we. That's also a definite possibility.
Maybe wait until after the election to burn down those orphanages.
Aww.
No, you have to strike first. Speed, surprise, and violence of action are all you have in the battlefield. You lose one, you've lost all of them. Well, now what do we do?
We
Try to
host
take
the
over the
party.
world.
Yeah. Taking over the world sounds good.
Is there anything we could kill for quest money real quick? Or just for the thrill of it? No?
Meh.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I said there are plenty of combat places that we can talk about. I have over a dozen maps with enemies on them at your
Do you
leisure.
guys want to go kill something?
Yeah.
Get some combat in?
What? Literally just for the sake of it?
It's been so long.
Father, I crave violence.
Use a little bit of a team building exercise.
Yeah.
So there's more there's more to check out in the forest around Summertide. There's some in Summertide itself. There's obviously dealing with the groups or the dealing with the political situation in the rest of the trade states. There's the spot where the armies were massing that you guys saw Shaw.
Wait a second. Aren't we still getting like quest requests from the townsfolk asking us to deal with shit?
Yeah, and most of them have been handled on and off by the armies that you have. Your
Oh,
noble
okay.
armies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like level 1 to 5 adventure bitch work.
I just making sure.
Oh, give me 1 second, sorry.
It's expensive.
All right, that was a pointless call that could have been done in a text message. So do we want to personally handle one of the ongoing requests that you guys have, or what's your game plan here? Do we want to check out one of these bigger ideas?
I mean, if we just want to murder for the sake of murder,
And also maybe money, but mostly for the murder.
yeah. I mean, could we hear what some of the local townsfolk?
Yeah, of course. Of course. So, one of the major ones that the town folk keep bringing up is this roving band of bandits that seem to be just just a little ways outside of town. They congregate in one of some sort of abandoned building or warehouse. They'll come in, attack, or steal. Mostly, they're stealing. Like farming or husbandry related things from the outskirts of town. And they come in, attack, go back.
Not that Halbjorn would have this knowledge, but are these guys orcs?
They're kind of a mixed race of a few different like orcs, hobgoblins, goblins sort of thing. It's fairly low level, but there are definitely it's definitely a problem for these farmers and ranchers who live on the edge of town.
So do you guys remember, out of character, of course, back when we had the original party and we set some orcs up with cows and shit?
Oh God,
Oh,
I do
yeah.
remember.
Fucking hell. Yeah, did we not do loads of deals with orcs at one point?
Yeah.
There was some orcs whose homes had been attacked or something, and we set them up with some other orcs that they could live with or something. Or have I dreamt all that? I can't remember.
No, I
Nope.
mean, we went and cleared out an area and
Did we not write shit all over a house or something? What did we do to that
Yes, we
house?
did.
Yeah.
We did. Threw cow shit all over it because that guy was a fucking wanker and deserved it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would do it again.
Yep.
In a heartbeat.
Fuck it,
Let's
I'd do
go
it
do
twice.
it again.
In Talmu.
Let's wait until after the election.
That's pretty far away, but yeah, probably.
Also, a completely different town. News won't get back until after the election, probably.
Oh yeah, that's right.
These heroes showed up and threw shit all over my house. Damn right we did.
Never forget who did it.
It's because you're a piece of shit.
So you're gonna live in shit.
Man, we're so petty. I don't know if we were pettier then, but we were definitely. Well, I guess we were less petty now because we have more power, so we don't need to be as petty. We can just kill people.
Yeah.
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 The ultimate pettiness.
Oh, you're a fucker. Dead.
I think we should start wiping shit over more people's houses again.
It was a decent pastime.
Just on door handles, like on the underside of a door handle, so people go, oh, shit under it. Oh, they've been again.
Those guys
Fucking hell.
again?
Yeah. We could be called the shitty door handle bandits. We should just do some low level stuff just for kicks, just for old time's sake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make up a name for ourselves, and deliberately like be a bit shit at fighting and fight like really like low level stuff. Maybe not. Maybe that's a stupid idea.
No, that sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The shitty door handle bandits strike again.
And when they think that they're getting the upper hand, we will reveal our true strength, and just watch the life drain from their eyes,
Yeah.
both literally and metaphorically. Like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Don't only jerk off so hard. Calm down.
You got serious then.
I have no attended.
Power is everyone's fetish. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So, what are we investigating? I got a little lost.
Putting shit on people's door handles. Next question.
Let's go have a poke at those bandits.
Yeah. We want to go and pretend like we have nothing better to do.
So, give me just a second. Okay. So, the farmers on the edge of town give you a general idea. Sorry, I haven't put you outside the building yet. Give you a general idea of where this building is. It's a couple hours outside of town.
Okay.
Ciala coming with you guys or no?
Yes.
Of course.
Are you kidding? The day that we don't take her is like going to be a day to put on the fucking calendar.
Yeah, the day we roll up new characters, because we'll die without her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're only doing shitty door handle bandit stuff now, so
So we should be fine.
I should hope so.
So you guys go a couple hours outside town, and you see this large building that's kind of falling apart.
I see a large black thing.
Yes, you should.
Okay. Just making sure.
You see this large building outside town, and you can see lots of tracks going in and out of it, different sized. There's been a lot of traffic, and doesn't look like anyone's here at the moment, but you guys are welcome to go closer and investigate. Can you
Burn it
guys all
down from
see?
afar.
I guess I would be my first question. Can you guys all see?
Pitch black for me.
Yes,
I
Black.
can see.
What
I
the
can see.
fuck?
What do you see?
I see. Past the farthest star.
That guy started at the left and stayed on till morning.
I see the definitely not recycled ritual circle.
Nope. No recycling done here.
Nah, you'd never.
Dale hates the environment.
Does look familiar though, those flags, don't they? All the tiles.
Can you all see now?
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's only one guy who's willing. You know, one tiler, one guy
This
that's
is-
tiled and
Well,
flagging
I
who's
don't
willing to
think.
work.
I think this is literally a building we were in before.
Oh, is it?
It looks like
Look, it does as well.
Yeah, when very first time we went out and were fucking around with the cultists, they were in a building that was very similar to this.
Oh, do you remember that time where I hid in that box and just as everyone was about to negotiate, I jumped out and shot someone with a bow?
Sounds familiar, yes.
And then we very nearly got killed. All of us nearly got killed.
Yes,
I
I
remember it because I felt like guilty for about 2 weeks. It was really we'd only just started playing, and as I went, I jumped out and shoot someone. But everybody sort of audibly went, "Oh, hang on." Yeah,
Oh, that was our first encounter with the imps, wasn't it?
yeah. Did something not happen there where we thought we'd accidentally set off a
Little
a
cunts.
colony of breaches or something?
Yeah. That was rough, dude.
Was it not like little spiders or something? What was it that ran off?
yes, ghost spiders.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that to come back down upon us.
Yep. Oh, where did
This might be the moment.
So as you guys start peeking around and looking around, there are some, like strange markings that don't appear to be, you guys have seen enough goblin and orc writing, that you know what it looks like. You do see a number of odd
What?
things, like
Oh.
they wouldn't be what I would call traditional orc writing or orc developments, orc runes. They definitely don't. They look out of place. The entire area, like I said, is fairly disheveled. But it looks like there's some makeshift tables and some boxes or crates that some people might sit on. And there's the unmistakable stain of blood being spilled here in the center of the room. There's some chains or like it looks like places that are put into the ground that you could attach a chain or a hook to. Some
Thank you.
just odds and ends. Some odds and ends like discarded or rotten food. But the orcs don't seem to mind. And it's unreasonably calm.
Eerily calm?
Eerily calm. Uneasily. You get an uneasy feeling in your stomach. Or you should at least.
Shouldn't have had that burrito.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding?
Why are you standing in the middle of the fucking like ritual circle?
Am I? I think. Oh yeah, I am. I can. Pretty sure I can only see through Samuel's token. By the way.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you not
'cause
see that one?
That's me.
I can see you, but look, I move outside. Well, never mind. Now I have my vision back.
There you go.
Oh, hang on.
Now you're in the
Why?
middle with me. It's
Yeah, I
kinda-
just jumped in to see what happened, see if anyone disappeared.
Yeah.
Or was it just a settings thing or was it an actual effect?
No, it was it was just the settings.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just okay.
Oh, wow, I really broke that.
Samuel was getting meta confused then. all of his gold pieces in his pocket just turned into dollars for a split second. Back again. What the fucking hell's that?
What's
George
going on here?
Washington?
Paper money? Fools.
It'll never last.
Do you guys
No, he's rooting around going, why are all these notes different values, but they're all the same fucking size? That must be confusing for foreigners. And then they all turn back into gold pieces again, and he forgets all about it. Anyway. Sorry.
do you guys wait, try to determine where these guys have been doing, what these guys have been up to? What do you guys do?
Investigating to see what I can glean and find.
Yeah, let's get some investigation checks going.
Yeah, I know. I rolled an 11. Super fancy.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys kind of check around, check the area. There is a couple odd things that you come across besides, the weird sacrificial place here in the center. And you come across scribbled, like etched into one of the tables. You see like a cloud of some sort. It looks like etched into one of the tables. And there's like some blood, or maybe it's red paint that's kind of smeared over the cloud.
I'm gonna go with blood.
There is also, as you guys are investigating and listening, it sounds in the distance like there's maybe some horses or troops approaching. And Harlan's, obviously with his high perception, is the first one to pick up on these incoming people of some sort.
I can smell them. They smell awful.
They do not smell the greatest. You are correct about that.
Do they smell as bad as that dwarf slug?
Not nearly as bad as the dwarf did, though.
Okay.
Nothing will ever smell that bad.
There is this odd statue back in the back that someone just pinged.
Yes.
And excuse me. This statue looks tarnished and a little disfigured, like it's been cracked off or something like that. It does appear to be some sort of warrior figure. Maybe it looks slightly orcish or goblin in nature. On the crest that you can just looking around and kind of feeling it up and moving some of the dust and dirt around from it. The figure on the statue has a chest plate that has the same cloud symbol etched into it. And the more you look around, the closer the sound of someone coming is getting. You know what I mean?
They're about to climax. Is that what's going on here?
Exactly. Shoot their load all over the place.
Oh,
Disgusting.
Fucking hell.
What, you're not into bukkake?
Good fucking luck. I'm the only one here who knows
No.
prestidigitation.
This has been quite a messy session considering there's been no combat. There's been a lot of, you know what I mean? Usually
Yes.
the majority of the fluids are bloodshed, and it's been all sorts of different, an absolute cocktail of.
He said cock.
Yeah.
On this blessed day, we are all children.
I never claimed to be a grown up.
Yeah. Actually, that's a point. Whenever anyone advertises an 18+ game, it usually actually means it's completely infantile, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an irony in that, really.
Ha ha ha, boobies.
Yeah.
Basically, fucking Return to Monkey and all that shit.
Do you guys continue your search as these troops approach, or
I'm gonna go look at them.
and you see off
I don't hide in a crate for old time's sake.
Ah, yes, how familiar. Hiding in a crate.
Yeah. Have we looked in any of these crates?
Not yet.
Can I look in one of the crates?
Full of semen.
Yep. And blood.
so
Semen as in the liquid or the boat people?
Orcanella Stos.
Both.
Yeah. Jizz covered sailors.
Sounds about normal.
Yeah. Oh, this has got weird. Bloody hell. Oh shit. Just knocked my coffee over. Okay.
so
That's a throwback
sorry.
as well. Nothing. I don't spill my coffee half as much as I used to back when we back in the old
started.
days.
We have returned to tradition, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can I have a look in one of those crates?
So in one of the crates you find like a number of different sizes of robes. All these robes that you find all have the same cloud that's in red etched, like sewn into them. And just a large number of cloaks, and they've clearly been worn and used. But like I said, lots of different sizes. You get the distinct whiff of a lot of orc on them. And Harlan in the distance, and now that you can see these people coming closer, you can see this first band of about 7 warriors that kind of lead this group. They're mostly orc, but there are some odds and ends other humanoids that are among them. A couple goblins that you can see, a hobgoblin in the distance to the north, and they're quickly approaching. The whole group, a whole force that seems to be coming in, looks to be, I don't know, I would say around 30 in the party in this group that's coming your way. And like I said, you can just sort of see them to the north. You have accurately pinpointed where they are.
Sorry, did you say there's 30 of them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm not afraid of 30 orcs. My whole thing is mass murderer. So, really, if it's just 30 low-level orcs, I'm just gonna fucking obliterate them. So, they can either stand down or I can drop a fucking ice storm on their heads. I don't really care.
I mean, we haven't started combat and gotten that melee clusterfuck going on yet, so
Well, here's the thing.
start
So,
blasting.
I missed a little bit of the context here, but they're just bad guys, right? There's no moral grayness here. They're just out here doing shitty stuff, and we want them to not be doing it.
At least from the farmer's description, yes.
Okay, but it's a farmer. They could be full of shit.
Could be.
I mean, obviously he's a farmer, he's full of shit, but he is in our territory and we need to maintain friendly, good impressions with the people.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't we talk to them first? And if that fails, Harlan just fucking obliterates them.
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're at right now, because
Okay.
So talk to them first.
That seems to be the consensus.
talk to them for a second. If they don't respond the way we would like and don't fuck off, I will set them on fire.
It's just really weird. Usually I'm the one that's all about talking.
Hmm.
Well, look, here's the thing. The only reason I'm saying this is my experience with the orcs so far have been they're one in this game. They've either one of two things. Actually, absolute shitters who we should just set on fire, or the person who's saying they're absolute shitters is the actual absolute shitter themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this initial group of 8 or so troops comes forward. Most of the air comes through this northern doorway. And among them is a mage wearing these robes that similar to the ones that Samuel found in the crate. And they come in and they say, "Who are you guys?" Like, just the mage speaks. And you can tell that he's some sort of orc mage or goblin mage, some sort of, goblinoid.
All right, so he
Race.
said, "Listen, fucko, what are you doing to our farmers?"
But like,
Yeah.
what kind of cult you got going on here?
And the mage responds and says, the farmer refused to trade with us. The farmers have refused to trade with us, and we're simply gathering provisions to to feed our group.
How large is your group?
There are about 30 of us.
Okay.
So what were the exact details of what the farmer said?
Well, we graciously tried to offer him some silver for our for wheat and corn the farmer was growing and some cows. And the farmer said, that price was too low for him. It wasn't, it wasn't gonna be able enough for him to sustain himself. So we said, we raised the price a little bit. Decided we'd give him a gold piece for enough provisions to last us for a month or so. And the farmer was intrigued by our offer. He liked it. But God, what is in my throat? He he asked, what we were up to, and I told him that really that wasn't important to our business of buying this food. And he said, I worry that what what you guys may be up to is up to no good. And so he was a little hesitant about selling from us, and we said, okay, well, if that's the case, then perhaps we'll take our business elsewhere. And then we decided instead of taking our business elsewhere that we would help ourselves to his provisions.
So that's not how any of this works. You can't just go stealing from people.
Also, insight check.
Go ahead.
Familiar number.
So you can tell that he is being he's correct in telling you that the farmer worried about the status of what they were doing, but you can tell that maybe how he negotiated or how he presented the situation was a little less calm than how it may have been approached.
This dude's a lying sack of shit. Got it. Can I torch him?
Go ahead.
That was to the party, not you.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I don't know. I'm sort of over these low level threats who just want to be fuckheads all the time. Just grow a fucking pair. Man up. Sack up. Jesus.
And the maid says to you guys, for the provisions we sold, we'd happily, pay you guys and you can take it back to the farmer. He says, we're not looking for trouble here. I'm just trying to
What the
feed
fuck are
my
you doing out
troops."
here? Your troops for what? Why do you need a fucking army?
We don't. It's not an army so much as like a gathering or a group of us that are looking for potentially beneficial items that may have been left along, sides of roads or
Well, you're fucking shitty
staying
bandits.
away.
Listen, fuckers, we don't have time for your shit.
And he says, "No, I understand. You must be busy people. Like I said, we'll happily pay for the goods we've taken. If you would leave us, like we'll happily just pay you what you know."
What's your end goal? Where are you going?
He says, "Well, we're just, a group of, wandering orcs, ogres, goblins, hobgoblins that
Alright.
have made a little stake out here, and we're just trying to get by."
But do we have the ability to pass laws? Because I want to temporarily criminalize homelessness just so we can arrest them.
And I was the Charles Manson earlier.
So, who's the statue of?
And the maid says, I'm not entirely sure. It was here when we moved in.
So,
Ah,
what's with the robes?
Oh, he says, well, this robe is my normal garb. It's like I like to wear robes that allow things to blow more freely in the breeze.
Okay, yeah.
uh-huh.
So then, why is the insignia on your robe match the marks on the statue and to the bloody smears on the table, along with the puddle of blood in the middle of the ritual circle?
Oh, okay. This all makes sense now.
And
They're fucking morons.
And the robes in the cup in the case in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna walk over, open the chest, and drop a produce flame in there.
Oh.
And he sees the robes. He sees the robes start burning, and he just goes, like, those were my backup cloaks. He was like, what? Like, you guys are just burning my shit now? Like, what's going on here?
All right, I'm
Thought
gonna
we
walk
were
over
doing
and I'm gonna.
peaceful.
How big is the statue?
It's I would say like 6-7 feet tall. I don't know, like takes up a 5x5.
All right, I'm gonna walk over to. I'm gonna walk over to the statue, turn into a bear, and throw my weight against it.
And it crumbles, and he sort of winces a little bit, and then he says, and then he tries to say, I'm glad you got rid of that statue. Like.
Then I roar at him, and I shit on the ashes, like the dirt, the leftovers of the statue. I just take a fucking huge bear dump on it.
And he, sort of grimaces again, and he's like, if you'd prefer, then some of my men can scoop this out, get it out of the way now that it's destroyed and in, rubble that we can easily get out of the way.
Okay. I'm now
Why
going to
did-
shift out of bear and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the circle in the middle of the room.
And when you do, it dispels. But when you do, there's a whiff of and it's for just a moment. It's more overpowering than the stench of the goblin house as a whole. There's just a whiff of brimstone in that when you dispel it.
You little son of a bitch.
So they work for Teenage Angst, don't they?
Of course they do.
We know who you are. We know who you work for. We're done with your shit. You have two options. You can throw it on your arms and go peacefully, and then we'll hang you in the square, or I can set you all on fire and you will burn. Those are your two choices. Take your pick.
And you see some of the regular troops kind of shuffle around a little bit, and they're a little nervous. And the mage says, no problem, we'll go. You guys go ahead. Fine, whatever. Kind of rude, but okay.
You
And
have a literal sacrificial circle in the center of your room that's covered in blood, and you're calling us rude. Are you fucking serious right now?
I don't think they quite grasp the severity of their situation.
so the men's and the army starts slowly putting down their and they start by putting down a shield, and then they put a sword on top of it. Um, and several of them start backing away.
Well, hold on. Before you go too far, did you know what you were doing? Or were you just following this dickhead's orders?
Do you address the other group, the group that's
Just
trying
like,
to leave, or as a
yeah,
whole?
just like as a whole.
So the troops themselves kind of just mumble, and you can't. It's kind of unintelligible what kind of answer they say. And the mage says, we're uh we're just a collective. I don't know whose orders you think we're following or something like that. We're just a normal average collective of people.
How everyone's gonna hit him with this hammer?
I'm going to insight check him. I'm 99% sure he's full of shit.
Inside check away.
26.
Jesus. So you can definitely tell that he's lying about them just being a collective, that he's employed by someone or something. But it's not exactly sure. You're not exactly sure where or who he's employed by. But he definitely is employed by someone. They're not just peaceful orcs just chilling in this building.
Oh, that's it now. You set fire to all the robes in one case, didn't you? In one of the
Yes.
chests. Yeah. Well, I think you should open up another chest and threaten to set fire to his socks and underwear as well.
So let's just.
See how we like.
I'm just going to go throw open all the chests. And I'd be like, well, if you don't work for anyone, I guess you won't mind if we destroy all this stuff.
Yeah.
And perhaps unsurprisingly, every single crate that you open has more robes. Every single one.
And I'm just going to pick them up, look at them a little bit, and then just torch one, and then drop it in the pile so that it'll just burn them all.
Oh, sorry, one second.
Oh, it's 6:10 already.
Yeah, we got to stop soon.
Oh, damn.
Oops. That's flown by, that.
Yeah. Well, we haven't played in a while.
No. When's our anniversary anyway? Is it in February?
Yeah, it'll
March.
be-
March 3rd.
March. That's right, yeah.
yeah, we started gathering in February. We started playing in March. Like, that'll be 2 fucking years.
Yep.
Good lord.
Mad, isn't it?
It's a long campaign.
And we're still only level
11? Oh, 12. Are we 12? Yeah, we're 12.
yeah.
Mind you, that one shot took us about 6 weeks.
True.
I feel like that's way more on us than it is on Harlan, though.
Yeah.
Like
I think
100% on us.
I think 100% it was on us. We basically fucking bumbled about for weeks and then got to the end of it with
And then we
absolutely
got to the end of it
no
and it
tangible
just all
plan.
fell to shit.
Yeah.
It was pretty entertaining to watch you guys stumble through, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But it was
I did
like
too.
we kind of we would have had to put a bit more effort in to fuck it up any further, I think. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was really good.
Well, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure you were going to succeed until you fucking skin of your teeth barely managed.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're lucky. So, based on time and reality, we're over by a bit, which is fine. My question is, so the mage and the last 2 guys that are with him are about to leave. Do you let them leave?
No.
No, so we definitely don't let the mage leave.
Yeah, we came out here for blood.
So,
Yeah, we came out for a fight and they've all just pissed off.
I mean,
I wouldn't say they've pissed off necessarily, because if you could look through a window, you would see that they're not really far away.
they're all
Yeah.
sitting
Oh,
outside.
you see them. They're conveniently clustered together, too. How nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, Jesus. I didn't see that.
They brought us some toys.
They did.
I just learned something that I didn't fucking know. Starting at 4th level, I got my wild shapes back on a short rest. Oh, it's all at 2nd level. I've been able. Oh my god, I've had so many more wild shapes to use.
Jesus
Jesus
Christ,
Christ.
Jeff, you're the rules guy. You're the one
I
who
know.
knows this stuff.
I know. Even I am
Fucking hell.
not infallible.
Oh.
So,
I bet you just made that up to make yourself seem a bit more human, haven't you?
if the
No.
plan is to not let the mage leave by force, I assume at this point,
Yeah.
because I think it's pretty clear you're not going to coerce him to stay or come with you guys.
Mhm.
What say everyone to roll an initiative, and then next session we'll pick back up and start clearing these bandits out.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I rolled a good initiative roll.
Thanks.
Oh, that means it's going to be a great combat.
Every time I roll good on initiative, combat sucks. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Exactly. Oh, for fuck's sake. God, it's been that long since I've played. I've completely forgotten. I've just opened my character sheet up to roll initiative when I've got a little duty thing for it. Oh, that's all right.
Pete gets to go first, but only because he has more decks than me.
Yep.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Just make sure you reread your spells before next week so we know what's happening.
I know the spells. Those I have committed to my fucking memory.
Okay.
I will catch you guys next week. I'm starving, so I'm gonna get some lunch.
okay.
All right.
Be
Good
safe.
night.
Be
I'm gonna
safe.
take another
Bye.
nap. Take care, guys.
Take it
See
easy
you later.
now.
Farewell.
I can't get out of Discord. It won't fucking close.
You're trapped.
Right.
You will
I
die.
bloody
here.
well am as well. I think I must have it open somewhere else. What's going on? This is an awkward farewell. Right. See you next week.
See you next
Bye-bye.
week. Bye.
Bye.